Hello and welcome to this video. Today we will try to understand what are managerial roles, and then we will briefly discuss how much of management is science and how much is art. So this again is from your first module, managerial roles and the science and art perspective. The book again is Essentials of Management by Kuhns and Werk. So in managerial roles, which was described by Henry Mintzberg, first of all, let's try to understand what is the difference between managerial roles and the managerial functions which you learned in the previous classes. So managerial roles was introduced by Mintzberg not as an extension of managerial functions but as a substitute for managerial functions. He felt that the four managerial functions didn't really help people in being a better manager. So he had his research with a few CEOs, data collected on what they were actually doing over a period of time, and then he came up with 10 managerial roles which can be divided to three major divisions. So the three major divisions are interpersonal, informational and decision. So the first one is interpersonal roles, and there are three subdivisions within this. So figurehead role. Figurehead role is performing ceremonial and social duties as the organization's representative. To understand this better, you can take the example of our college chairman. So a chairman would be present, say if we have an inauguration, he would be there for lighting the lamp, and we can also expect a speech from our chairman. So he is actually a source of inspiration for us, and that is what is expected from a figurehead. So the next is the leader role. A leader actually should assign duties to his subordinates and make them work. The liaison role. A liaison role is about improving the communication networks or the networks of contacts of the organization with the outside world particularly and inside as well. The second set is information roles. So information role again has three subdivisions: the recipient role, the disseminator role and the spokesperson role. So the recipient role is about receiving information about the operation of an enterprise. So as a recipient, a manager should keenly observe the happenings around his organization. There could be changes in the outside world which could affect his organization. So he should be very keen to such changes and should always monitor the changes happening around his organization. The second one is disseminator. Here manager has information and he has to pass that information to his subordinates. The third one is that of a spokesperson, that is about transmitting information to those outside the organization. So the manager actually represents the organization and he speaks on behalf of the organization to the outside world. So all these three are about informations. All the three roles discussed here are regarding informations. So the last one is decision role. Here again it has four subdivisions: entrepreneur role, the disturbance handler role, resource allocator role and the negotiator role. So the first one is entrepreneur role. For an organization to sustain, it has to continuously innovate. It has to look for improving the way it has been working, as well as they have to open new frontiers to expand the organization. The second one is disturbance handler. So an organization will have a plan according to which it would be working, but that needn't be the case always. There could be disturbances in between and there would be many decisions that have to be taken in a quick fashion. For example, coronavirus came in. It was not a situation which was expected earlier. So the manager has to step in and take decisions to handle such disturbances. The third one is resource allocator role. So there are many resources that are within the organization. They have to prioritize different projects, and will have to allocate different resources to different projects or departments. Resources could be anything. It could be money, or it could be even human beings are considered as resources. People involved within the organization could be considered a resource. And the last one is that of a negotiator role, that is dealing with various persons and groups of persons. So there are it's not that everyone always have the same opinion about a particular situation. So it's often the manager who has to step in case there are a few conflicts or differences in opinion. The manager has to play the role of negotiator. So those are the 10 managerial roles as said by Henry Mintzberg. Now we have already discussed this topic in length in the class. The fact is managing really an art or a science? So as we have understood, management is both an art and a science. So managing as a practice is an art. The organized knowledge underlying the practice is a science. So if you are managing or scheduling something, and if you're using tools like say Primavera or some techniques that can help you in scheduling, you are actually using the science of management. Or we have learned about different managerial functions like planning, organizing, controlling, etc. So if you're using those terms or those procedures in your thought process, where you are actually using the underlying knowledge or the science, but your actual decision making using all these tools, when you actually make a decision, well, that is an art. So we'll stop this class here. Thank you.